His voice was thunder, his weapons were lightning. Welcome to Deca Rankings. If you want to know things, you're in the right place. The topic for today is Top 10 Most Powerful Baltic Gods. In the ancient forests of Lithuania and Latvia, where pagan traditions survived longer than anywhere else in Europe, the Baltic gods ruled over one of the continent's last spiritual strongholds. These deities embodied the fierce independence of forest peoples who carved their civilization from harsh northern wilderness. Today we rank the 10 most powerful gods of Baltic mythology, from the least to the most mighty. Number 10. Gabija. Gabija, the sacred goddess of fire and hearth, tended the spiritual flames warming Baltic homes while serving as divine protector of domestic harmony and family prosperity. Her presence blessed every hearth and cooking fire, providing both physical warmth and spiritual protection against harsh northern winters. Ancient traditions recognized her as guardian of family life, whose favor ensured domestic peace and successful household management. She possessed the power to maintain fires supernaturally and protect homes from danger. Her worship involved daily hearth ceremonies and seasonal fire festivals. Today, her legacy continues in Baltic communities, preserving traditional hearth customs and spiritual practices honoring domestic fire's sacred nature. Number 9. Medena. Medena, the fierce goddess of forests and hunting, ruled over the vast woodlands covering Baltic territories while protecting both wild animals and the forest spirits governing untamed wilderness. Ancient traditions honored her as the divine huntress, whose blessing was essential for successful hunting and whose anger could drive away game or turn hunters into prey. She possessed the ability to control animal populations and guide hunters to worthy prey. Her worship involved elaborate hunting ceremonies and forest shrines where offerings secured her favor. Today, her legacy continues in Baltic communities, maintaining traditional forest knowledge and conservation movements, recognizing indigenous woodland wisdom. Number 8. Velnius. Velnius, the complex god of the underworld and cattle, wielded power over both the realm of the dead and the earthly wealth represented by livestock, herds forming the foundation of Baltic prosperity. His dual nature as death deity and animal protector made him one of the most carefully approached gods in Baltic tradition. Ancient Lithuanians described him as ruler of the underground realm, while also serving as divine guardian of cattle, whose health determined community survival. He possessed the power to determine souls' fate after death and control livestock health. His worship involved funeral rites and cattle blessing ceremonies. Today, his legacy continues in Baltic funeral customs and agricultural practices honoring livestock care's spiritual dimensions. Number 7. Jurate. Jurate, the beautiful sea goddess and queen of the Baltic, ruled over amber-rich waters, providing both dangerous passage and precious resources to coastal peoples depending on maritime trade and fishing. Her underwater palace of amber and pearls served as divine court, governing all marine life while controlling storms and calms. Ancient legends described her tragic love affair with a mortal fisherman, whose death caused her eternal grief and created the amber tears washing ashore. She possessed the power to control Baltic sea conditions and provide amber treasures. Her worship involved seaside ceremonies and maritime festivals. Today, her legacy continues in Baltic coastal communities, preserving traditional maritime knowledge and amber crafting traditions. Number 6. Xemena. Xemena, the nurturing earth goddess, embodied the fertile soil sustaining Baltic agricultural communities while serving as the spiritual source of all growth and abundance. Her vast body was the earth itself, providing foundation for plant growth and sacred burial ground, transforming death into new life. Ancient traditions honored her as divine mother, whose blessing was essential for successful agriculture and whose seasonal moods determined harvest abundance. She possessed the power to control soil fertility and determine agricultural success. Her worship involved elaborate agricultural ceremonies and seasonal festivals honoring her gifts. Today, her legacy continues in Baltic communities, preserving traditional farming wisdom and environmental movements, recognizing Earth as a living entity deserving protection. Number 5. Lima. Lima, the powerful goddess of fate and childbirth, wielded awesome power to determine individual destiny while serving as divine midwife essential for successful childbirth and proper human development. Her authority extended from conception through adult life, as she wove the threads of fate, determining each person's character and ultimate destiny. Ancient traditions honored her as Divine Mother attending every birth, whose spinning determined life's length and quality. She possessed the power to determine lifespan and control birth circumstances. Her worship involved elaborate birth ceremonies and seasonal festivals. Today, her legacy continues in Baltic communities, preserving traditional birth customs and spiritual practices recognizing fate's divine nature. Number 4. Menes. Menes, the celestial moon god and divine husband of the sun goddess, traveled across night skies while governing lunar cycles that regulated agricultural timing and ceremonial schedules, structuring Baltic religious life. His silver light illuminated long northern nights, while his monthly phases provided the cosmic calendar, determining when to plant crops and conduct ceremonies. Ancient traditions described his relationship with Saule, representing cosmic marriage, maintaining universal harmony. He possessed the power to control lunar influence on agriculture and provide celestial timing. His worship involved lunar ceremonies and nighttime festivals. Today, his legacy continues in Baltic communities, preserving traditional lunar knowledge and agricultural practices honoring celestial timing. Number 3. Saule. Saule, the radiant sun goddess and divine mother of all life, blazed across Baltic skies as supreme source of light, warmth, and life-giving energy, sustaining both human communities and the natural world. Her daily journey marked time's passage, while her seasonal movements determined agricultural cycles, governing planting and harvest activities essential to Baltic survival. Ancient traditions honored her as Divine Mother, whose blessing was essential for all life and whose daily appearance brought hope and renewal. She possessed the power to control solar energy and determine agricultural success. Her worship involved elaborate solar ceremonies and seasonal festivals. Today, her legacy continues in Baltic communities, preserving solar ceremonies and spiritual traditions, recognizing the sun goddess, whose maternal care sustains all life. Number 2. Perkūnas. Perkūnas, the mighty thunder god and supreme ruler of the Baltic pantheon, wielded his thunder hammer and lightning bolts with earth-shaking power, while serving as ultimate source of divine justice and protection. His voice was thunder, his weapons were lightning, and his presence reminded Baltic peoples that ultimate power resided with divine authority. Ancient traditions recognized him as king of gods, whose authority superseded all other deities and whose justice was absolute and inescapable. He possessed the power to control all weather phenomena and enforce divine justice through natural disasters or blessings. His worship involved thunder ceremonies in sacred oak groves and seasonal festivals. Today, his legacy continues in Baltic communities, preserving traditional ceremonies and cultural movements honoring indigenous spiritual independence, representing the unconquerable spirit of Baltic peoples whose faith sustained their identity through centuries of foreign domination. Number 1. Dievs. Dievs, the supreme sky god and divine father, presided over Baltic heavens while serving as ultimate source of moral authority and cosmic order, governing both natural phenomena and human conduct. His celestial domain encompassed the entire sky, from the sun's daily path to seasonal weather patterns determining agricultural success. Ancient traditions recognized him as Divine Father, whose authority superseded all other gods and whose moral law governed proper human behavior. He possessed the power to control celestial phenomena and establish moral law. His worship involved elaborate sky ceremonies and seasonal festivals. Today, his legacy continues in Baltic communities, preserving traditional moral teaching and spiritual traditions, recognizing supreme divine authority. These Baltic gods embodied the fierce spiritual independence of Europe's last pagans, creating religious traditions that honored both the terrible power of northern storms and the nurturing strength of earth and sun. Though Christianity officially ended their worship, their essence endures in Lithuanian and Latvian folklore and the deep forest wisdom connecting Baltic peoples to their ancestral land. Like this video, and subscribe to Deca Rankings for more videos like this.